Straight up against that wall.
You give me that back, Terry.
I mean it! I want promises first.
Promises?
Yeah. Like you don't lay a finger on me.
Give me that back, Terry, else I'll hurt you.
Watch it! It'd be a write-off, Benny. You want to risk that, do you? I thought not. Sit down.
What?
On the bed, sit down. Sit on your hands.
On my hands?
Yeah. I feel safer that way, sunshine. Look, I don't want to shatter this thing, Benny, honest. I mean, it's a work of art, isn't it? But I will, mate. So don't go having any doubts about that. I want you to promise me 2 things.
2?
Yeah, you got it. 1, you don't even touch me. And 2, you don't go grassing to anyone.
Grassy? What's that?
Shooting your mouth off. Silence, that's what I want. Complete silence, understand? Yeah. Good.
Excuse me.
Hey, not so fast, Benny. How do I know you're going to stick by it?
Look, I've said it, I...
Yeah, well, anyone can say, can't they? Swear it.
How?
On your father's memory. I swear on my father's memory not to touch you, nor to tell anyone. Well, say it.
I swear on my father's memory that...
Not to touch you.
Not to touch you.
Nor tell anyone.
Nor tell anyone.
You got to stick by swearing, Benny. Swearing's for real.
Why'd you do it, Terry?
Reasons, mate.
Where's Glenda? Arthur, where's Glenda?
Hmm? Oh, said something about washing her hair.
Well, we've got to talk while we've got the chance.
But we've been over and over it. I mean, what else is there to say? Won't do.
We've got to do something. This afternoon, she went to see a solicitor.
Eh? What for?
Well, what do you think? She wants a divorce now.
Divorce, get
Well, she
on.
means it, Arthur.
But she can't divorce him. She hasn't got grounds.
I don't think you need grounds these days. Just breakdown of the marriage, they call it.
Well, there you are, then. I mean, Kevin will never agree to it, will he?
Well, he will if she goes on like this. And who could blame him? I mean, he deserves a bit of happiness. He's young enough. And he won't get it with a wife who won't talk sensibly to him. I mean, she'll push him too far.
Divorce. But a bit of a kiss and a cuddle on the side.
Oh, it's more than that, Arthur.
Yeah, but not in law. Or in fact.
Oh, no, it goes deeper than that. She wouldn't go and see the solicitor over Carol. This has been going on for a long time.
Well, they've always seemed happy enough to me. Like a couple of kids.
Yes, exactly. Kids playing at being married. No responsibilities, no home of their own, and worst of all, no child of their own. And that's where the trouble lies. The minute Glenda knew she couldn't have children, things were never the same between them. She thought she'd let him down. It was all her fault.
Well, Kevin didn't seem all that worried.
Well, he put a good face on it, you mean? But we don't know what he really felt, do we? I mean, how would you have felt?
Oh, I don't think it'd have bothered me that much. I mean, you were what I wanted out of life, not kids.
Well, I'd have felt cheated, I know. Something you take for granted to be a natural course of your life, marriage and children, and suddenly a doctor says, no, you're different. No baby for you. I mean, how'd you accept that? Especially somebody as young as Glenda with all her married life ahead of her.
No, I know.
So, I've been thinking about adoption.
But we've been through all that, surely. I mean, she was dead against it.
Oh, I know. That was when she first heard about it, before she couldn't think straight. But we've got to do something about this divorce business, Arthur. Well, I'm going to suggest it anyway.
What, adoption?
Yes.
She had it coming, mate.
She's all right.
Oh, yeah, I've met them. All smiles when everything's rosy. Then given half the chance, they clobber you. Well, I can do without that. She deserves everything she gets.
She didn't deserve that.
You what?
What you did, messing about with a car like that. It's dangerous.
Oh, give over.
You could have killed her.
Like hell.
Well, Sid said you could.
Sid, what does he know?
He knows a lot more than what you do.
Yeah, well, you just make sure you don't get to know nothing else, all right?
Look, I said, didn't I?
Yeah, well, just make sure you stick to it.
Now, look what you've done. That's Mrs. Price.
Yeah, well, that's a calamity, isn't it? I'll soon send her a pack.
Look, leave it, Terry.
What's all the shouting about?
Shouting? We weren't shouting.
I wasn't hearing things, you know.
Oh, I know what you mean. Well, we was discussing having a portable telly. Well, I'm all for it and Benny's against it. Must have got a bit loud.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Why shouldn't he be?
Because everybody's getting at him over this oil change business, that's why.
Well, that's typical, isn't it?
What?
Well, a scapegoat. Fall guy. Pass the buck.
Oh, were you saying it wasn't his fault?
Well, not exactly, no, but I mean... Well, what's the point of making a song and dance about it?
Because they've gone down for a few £100, that's why. And Barbara Hunter was very lucky to get off alive. You did do that change, didn't you? Yeah. Look, maybe there's a chance that you forgot.
That's
you know,
what I keep telling
Will you shut it? It wouldn't have done you any harm to check up on him.
You what?
Check his work. Lord knows he does enough for you.
Well, I can't keep my eye on him every minute of the day, can I?
Look, what's going to happen about it all?
I'm not sure, love.
Blow over, mate.
Will you shut up?
It will.
Well, that's as maybe, but they just might... I'll tell you what. I'll have a word with Sharon and see what she says.
Put it behind you, Benny. That's my advice. The sooner you're your old self, mate, the sooner better we'll all like it.
Thought you'd been in bed by now.
Took a long time to see that car, didn't it?
About 10 minutes. Now I've been next door with Mac.
All this time.
Since 9:30. Why, have I missed something?
Oh, I've been waiting to talk to you, that's all.
Oh, not tonight, Glenn. What he's up to here?
And it's something you ought to know about.
Real old banger it was. I took one look at it and that was it. Twice round the clock, then some more.
But there'll be other cars, Kevin. This is important.
All right, I'm listening.
I went to see a solicitor today about a divorce.
You what?
And he said that if you agree, it wouldn't take very long, and you and Carol...
You want a divorce because...
Keep your voice down. You wake Mum and Dad.
I don't care if I wake the whole bloody street. Let's get this straight. We're finished, is that what you're saying?
You know we are, Kevin. Things will never be the same between us. It's more sensible...
Didn't you listen? Didn't you understand one word? Nothing happened. And it's over. I don't care if I never see it again. Now, how can you say you want a divorce?
Well, you can make a fresh start, if not with Carol, with somebody else.
It's mad.
It's what I want.
Well, you're not getting it, because I'm not agreeing. And you can't divorce him on your own. You've got no reason.
You have.
You what?
Oh, don't look at me like that. There's nobody else. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Come on, spell it out.
We're not a proper family, and we never can be.
No, not... Look, we talked about this a dozen times. I told you it doesn't matter.
It does. That's what's wrong with us, this whole rotten mess. If we'd had a baby...
If we'd had umpteen kids, it could have happened and we'd have got over it like thousands of other couples. Oh, Ken. Don't do this. It don't make any sense. We've got something going. I need you.
What you need is a normal... Oh, Kevin, you're entitled to it.
What does that mean?
I want you to have everything a man expects from family life, and that includes children. I'm just tired of feeling guilty because I can't give them to you. I'd rather we split now. I mean that.
Morning. Can you tell me, is it easier to drive?
I do apologize for being so late, Miss Marshall, but I'm at your service now.
Late?
About a special dinner you were going to order for this evening.
Special dinner? What is this, Mr. Ross?
Prevention of a mistake for a start. You were about to ask that girl how to get to Castle, which no.
Oh, yes.
Advertising the possibility you were going to the resumption of the inquest, a matter that could have come to Mrs. Hamilton's knowledge and her curiosity.
Oh.
Now, because Mrs. Hamilton is going by hired car, let me advise you on the much more convenient way of going by bus whilst I stand here appearing to be talking about the watercress soup, all right?
Aren't you being a little elaborate?
Permit me the usual pleasure of conspiracy, whatever the style. Don't look now, whatever you do, please. Now, the bus stop is outside the library.
Would you like
Every
me
20
to come
minutes.
with you?
No.
Well, it might be good to have a friendly
I'm not going to be weak this time, don't worry. Oh, thank you.
All right, Mr. Paul, don't go into the routine about socialising. I'm not in the mood.
I understand your feelings for Mrs. Hamilton.
You know she's going to that inquest by herself.
Well, why didn't you ask for time off to accompany her?
You'd have given me the
Oh,
time
yes. I am surprised David Hunter isn't escorting her.
Well, he wanted to, but she preferred to go on her own.
Yes, I understand that. I do the same in her place. Face it, alone. Much easier to hide things from the public when not hiding them from friends at the same time. Friends are always the first to see through, aren't they?
What miserable sort of friends have you had, Mr. Paul?
You, once?
What are you doing home at this time of day, Mum? As if I didn't know. I'm not in the mood for one of your cosy chats, I warn you.
Well, that's just what I have come to do, to warn you, before it's too late. You do realise what you're doing, don't you?
Yes, I'm getting a divorce. It's quite normal procedure these days, nothing very terrible about it.
Oh, yes, there is, my girl, especially for somebody like you. Have you thought about this? Really thought?
Kevin will be free to marry again.
And where does that leave you?
It doesn't matter about me.
Oh, very brave, I must say, very
Look,
self-sacrificing.
Mum, I'm young. There's plenty of time to meet somebody else.
Marrying them knowing you can't have children. I thought that's why you were going to divorce Kevin.
Oh, you've been listening at keyholes?
Is tea fresh?
Yeah. I'll get you a cup.
Listen, my girl, I'm your mother. I know what's going on at the back of your mind. You didn't go and see that solicitor over Carol. She just provided the excuse.
It's not fair on him, Mum.
Let's forget about Kevin for the moment and talk about you. Look, if your conscience won't let you live with a man you really love, what hope is there for you in the future?
I might meet somebody older, somebody who doesn't mind, who's got children already.
Yes, you might. And then again, you might not.
Right. Plenty of girls don't get married. They seem happy enough. Look at Sharon.
You've got about as much in common with Sharon Metcalfe as I have with Mrs. Thatcher. She's different. Now, you just listen to me, my girl, and don't you shout me down before I finish. Kevin loves you. He always has. That's the most important thing. You've told him, have you, about the divorce?
Last night, yes.
And what did he say? Come on, tell me honestly.
He'd fight me all the way.
Exactly. Well, you want to count your blessings, don't you? So it just comes down to a question of children, doesn't it? Well, there's plenty of them in the world. Look, why don't you adopt one?
Are you serious?
Yes, I know it wouldn't be quite the same to start with,
Oh,
but I mean,
Mum,
you'd...
stop it. You're living in a different world. Adopt. Me and Kevin.
Well, I mean, I knew it'd be difficult at first. I know that. But if you went to the proper authorities and
Yes,
explained...
they just laugh in our faces. We're too young. We haven't got a home of our own. And the waiting list must stretch, I don't know, from here to outer space. Oh, yes, we might be considered for an older child from a broken home in 4 or 5 years' time. But I don't want to be the mother of a teenager when I'm 30. There aren't babies up for adoption, Mum. There just aren't.
You sure you don't want one?
I've got important work on here.
Oh, I know. Laughing boys' shirts.
Brings out the mother in me.
That'll be the day. Why did you get yourself lumbered with those? Has he never heard of a laundry?
He likes the personal touch. And we can't have him going back to his course all scruffy now, can we? Besides, it gives me great pleasure.
I'll remember that next time I'm doing Miss Smalls. What are you going to do about Barbara Hunter's car?
Put it right.
How much will it cost?
Enough.
How much?
Well, we won't know till we finish, but I can't see us getting much change out of 500.
Are you covered by insurance?
You're joking. You don't insure against incompetence. You try and iron that out before it hits you. Iron. Forget it.
I suppose Benny could pay.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. It's down to us.
I know, but if it means him losing his job...
Who said anything about that?
Are you going to keep him on?
Can you actually see me kicking him out because of that? What do you take me for?
Big-hearted mummy?
Yeah, you got it in one. No, he can stay. Of course, what it does mean is that we can't trust him with that kind of work ever again. We've all tried to go easy on him, you know. Even Terry. Doesn't seem to do much good. He's so shamed, I suppose you'd call it, for having failed. But we've learnt our lesson. He can do the simple jobs. He can hose down, he can sweep up, and use a bit of elbow grease, but that's about it.
Well, supposing Barbara and David insist on him going?
It's not up to them. It's up to me, and I say he stays.
Thanks, Sharon.
Do you really want to thank me?
Of course I do. Why?
Finish off these shirts for me, will you? Please.
Has she applied for it yet? Filled out any forms?
She's been to the solicitors.
Twice.
I didn't know that.
She went again this afternoon.
Well, she can't do anything without your agreement, Kevin, surely. I mean, you haven't been married that long. No, it'll take more than, what do they call it? Incompatibility.
That's a laugh for a start. We got on like a house on fire before all this started.
Breakdown of the marriage, that's what they call it. But I think that only happens after several years.
Well, how do you feel about it, Kevin? I mean, you're not anxious to split up, are you?
No, I'm not. She's getting no help from me.
Oh, well, there you are, then.
It's no use saying there you are, then, unless you know where.
I was wondering if it might be better if I moved out for a bit, got from under her feet. She might start to miss me then. Might.
No, I don't think that'd be any good, love. She'd just tell that solicitor you'd deserted her.
No, don't talk so daft, Kath. This isn't the family home. Well, I mean, it's their home, of
That's
course,
just
but...
the point, Dad. I'm finding it a bit embarrassing at the moment. She don't want me here, and I'm living with her mum and dad. Bit of an awkward situation.
Yes, can't be easy for you. Get digs in the village, you mean?
Oh, I don't want him to do that. I feel as long as they're under the same roof, then there's a chance.
But why don't you get tough with her? Show her who's boss. That's what I'd do.
What, kick the bedroom door in, you mean, like Clark Gable used to do?
What's Clark Gable got to do with it?
No, I don't think these houses are built for that, Dad. Anyway, wouldn't work. She's got this look, you know?
Yes. Gets it from her mother.
Could I have the key to 22, please?
Mrs. Hamilton, the hunters weren't sure when you'd be back from the inquest, but they hoped you'd dine with them. Would you be able to meet them in the bar at 7:30?
Yes, thank you very much.
Death by misadventure, the verdict.
Yes.
That, I'm sure, will be as pleasing to everyone here as I can see it has been to you.
It was an enormous relief.
Why enormous? Did you doubt you'd be cleared?
It was an inquest, not a trial.
But a verdict that precludes a trial, an excellent outcome. Tony Moran may now rest in peace, and you may live in it. Happy end to a terrible tragedy. Might I stand your drink, considering the ordeal you've been through?
It wasn't an ordeal, Mr. Ross. The proceedings were perfectly simple and straightforward. And I'm all ready to be stood a drink at 7:30. Thank you anyway for your most unexpected offer.
Here you are.
Thank you.
She didn't spot you in court?
I sat right at the back.
Yes. She says it was all very simple and straightforward. Wasn't it?
No, it was not. She was really put through it. The coroner couldn't shake her. She said the same story, word for word, each time round.
You feel the coroner suspected she had another story to tell if she spoke the truth?
Do you?
I wasn't present.
I'm beginning to wish I hadn't been either.
Oh, I understand your feelings. Even if you weren't close, he was your father. But proceedings have a way of being reopened, you know. If she hid anything from the coroner, she lived in a constant fear that it could be dug up by anybody.